Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Imperial Order, a new section on the Animax Entertainment channel. I couldn't be more excited to start this. This is something we've been wanting to do for a while, and with the Book of Boba Fett's first episode just airing, there was no better time to do it, so let's break this thing down. Okay guys, so if you know anything about me, I'm not a massive Boba Fett fan, so I was very skeptical going into the show, although The Mandalorian Season 2 definitely made me more of a Boba Fett fan. I mean, I love Star Wars and all that, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be yelling at me in the comment section below, but it wasn't until The Mandalorian Season 2 that this guy really started to get some character development for me, and I was really just enjoying that aspect of Boba Fett. He kind of rides in the middle. He's not really a good guy, he's not really a bad guy, and what he did at the end of The Mandalorian Season 2 was fantastic when he took over the throne of Jabba the Hutt. So it was so exciting to see this season just kind of pick up right from there. Him and Fennec Shand together as a partnership. How's this going to be? So I loved a lot of the stuff in the beginning of this episode. You know, we're just kind of seeing Boba Fett in the back to tank, which was really fantastic, and I liked how it kind of went from there into some flashbacks. Boba Fett's replaying that moment in his mind from Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, where he has his father's head in the helmet in his hands. It's interesting to see that that's something that's still very much lingering within his thoughts, so I really enjoyed that. We almost immediately get a question answered that's been on all of us Star Wars fans' mind for a long time, which is how in the hell did he get out of that Sarlacc pit from Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi. And they show that. They show him stuck inside the Sarlacc pit with some stormtroopers down there, and I just love that imagery of him within the Sarlacc pits. We've never really been able to see that before, so that was super cool. So he sees those stormtroopers and he's like, I gotta get the hell out of here. And I love the imagery of his hand just kind of coming out of the sand on Tatooine. That was super cool, and it was just really reminiscent of Return of the Jedi, and it gave me so much nostalgia watching it, and I'm sure it did for a lot of people. We also get a little bit of a flashback to Kamino as well. That was really cool to see. Really cool to incorporate that planet with some updated technology. It doesn't look as CGI'd as it had in the past, so it was really cool to see here once again, and just that imagery of the waves at Kamino was awesome. Boba Fett just thinking of his birthplace was just a super cool dynamic to add to the show, and I just think that all played really well. So this show just takes place in the criminal underground of Tatooine, which I really enjoyed seeing. Everything about this episode, whether it be the just imagery or the environment or whatever it might be, it just gave me such Star Wars vibes that it was so enjoyable to watch throughout. It just kept me invested in the show the entire time. Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, their chemistry was just awesome. I love just seeing how people would come in, respect and disrespect Boba at the same time. You would see both dynamics of that, and it's just cool to see him sit on that throne. And it's really, again, it's that chemistry between him and Fennec Shand that just keeps the show moving, keeps the pacing up, and it just really works for it. And I really like the imagery and the visuals and all that as well, but without that character dynamic, it's really just not going to work as well as it ended up working out. One thing I did not expect, though, was for this show to flash back and forth. So we're kind of getting Boba Fett now, but we're also filling in that gap between Return of the Jedi up until The Mandalorian Season 2 in a way, just kind of seeing what Boba Fett had went through. So I'm enjoying that aspect of the show as well. It's kind of like getting two storylines at one time, which is just keeping things extremely interesting. I thought it was interesting that, you know, Boba Fett pretty much got enslaved by a Tusken Raider there for like a whole minute because then that monster thing jumps up, right? And he's fighting the monster. He beheads it. It allowed the Tusken Raider to take the head back to the other Tusken Raiders, and I like that the Tusken Raider was a child Tusken Raider as well. You could just see how proud this Tusken Raider was, right? To be able to take the head of this creature back to his family, when initially he was thinking about just taking Boba Fett back to the family. Now he's just got something that's much more of a prize, and it's redeemed Boba Fett in the eyes of the Raider, and I like that that's how he became free. You know, we obviously saw him asking this Tusken Raider boy for some water. The boy never gave it to him, but then when this whole thing goes down with him and this monster, and Boba Fett fights the monster single-handedly. Then he meets the Tusken Raider family, right? And the Tusken Raider family gives him some water. I really enjoyed ending with the image of Boba Fett just finally getting his water and drinking it. It just made it so much more poetic. So just love that entirely. On the other side of the story, we obviously have some guys that disrespected Boba. We saw how that went down. We got this really awesome action sequence with him and Fennec. Gosh, it was so great to watch. And Robert Rodriguez directed the crap out of this episode. I thought it was a really good idea. Seeing as how Robert Rodriguez directed the Boba Fett episode in Mandalorian Season 2 that acted as a backdoor pilot for the spin-off series just made it work so much more. And it just made so much sense to start out with him. There's an argument to be made that not a lot really happened in this episode overall, but I gotta say, I found myself enjoying it regardless, because I'm really enjoying Tamura Morrison's performance as Boba, and I'm really enjoying Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shan once again. I mean, I just love them as these characters. They fit them so well. Obviously, Tamura, you know, having been in the Star Wars universe for a long time, he just seems so veteran now within it. So I'm loving this dynamic. That's what's keeping it going. That's what's keeping me intrigued. Obviously, this episode ends on a cliffhanger. We want to know more about his backstory, and it's just adding so much development to the characters, and it's gonna get great. I could just feel it in my bones. I think the Book of Boba Fett is off to a really great start. I quite enjoyed this pilot. I hope everybody out there feels the same. If not, let us know what you didn't like about it, but if you did like it, let us know what stood out to you. We'd be really curious to hear that in the comments below. So guys, I've been Don Martino. If you haven't done so already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit the bell for notifications, and we appreciate you guys joining us. That'll do it for the Imperial Order, and we'll talk to you guys later.